Back here at Rec Park, top of the second. Healdsburg has left 3 stranded in that bottom half of the first inning. Alex Solis back on the bump, and the first pitch to Gio Martini is swung on and fouled back to the screen. It's 0-1. Righty on lefty matchup here to begin the second. Martini in the cleanup hole tonight. Went 1 for 3 last night, also went 1 for 3 with a walk on Tuesday in a loss to Solano. The 0-1 pitch. Misses down in the dirt. Ball and a strike. Martini at Cal State East Bay playing collegiate ball. And Solis on the bump, University of Houston. The 1-1 on the way. A check swing, and the appeal down to third, and the third base umpire, Ruben Candelaria, says that Martini went around. So 1 ball and 2 strikes, nobody out, nobody on, top of the second, and a scoreless game. Solis sets out of the stretch with nobody on, throws. And that one swung on and lined right to right field. Jake McCoy takes a couple of steps in and puts up the glove to make the catch. 1 away here in the second. Looks like off of the sound of the bat that Martini might have had that one down on the ground, but it hung in the air just long enough for McCoy to make a rather easy play in right field. So 1 away here is Peyton Richards. Left-handed batter once again. The first pitch misses down and in for ball 1. Richards, the DH, here tonight. He pinch hit last night, ended up getting 3 at-bats, and he got a hit out of him. Pitch on the way is left downstairs for ball 2. Richards at the University of Pacific. 3 left-handed batters in the lineup tonight for the Kings. 2-0, misses up and away, and it's 3-0. Alex Solis, the 20-year-old, rubbing baseball with both hands, putting some dirt on it, and now leans in and gets the sign from the catcher, Laidhoff. Sets and collects at the belt out of the stretch with nobody on, and 1 away. The 3-0 in there for a strike. Down an inside corner, it's 3-1. Solis went 2 for 2 in 6 starts and 19 games this past season in a sophomore year at Houston. The 2-1 is, rather the 3-1 is outside, and that's ball 4. So Richards walks, and that's the first walk issued by Solis here tonight. It comes in the second inning with 1 away. And Richards trots down to first. That brings up the 6th-hole hitter for the West Coast Kings, Joaquin Stewart. Playing shortstop tonight. Did not play in last night's game here at Rec Park. Solis remains out of the stretch, now with the runner aboard. Sets. Long pause, kicks and deals. And a swing and a 2-bouncer to second, fielded by French. She flips the second for 1 on to first, a double play. 4-6-3 DP to end the second. And we head to the home half of the second inning. Scoreless game here at Rec Park between the Kings and the Prune Packers. It'll be the bottom 3 hitters for Healdsburg coming up, McCoy, Campbell, and Martinez when we come back. Jake McCoy, Cade Campbell, Max Martinez, the 7, 8, 9 hitters due up here in the bottom of the second inning in a scoreless game between the Healdsburg and the West Coast Kings. Alex Piscotti winds and delivers and throws a curveball downstairs for ball one. McCoy did not start in last night's 6-2 win. Here's the pitch, and he swings and fouls one back. It's 1-1. He did get a pinch hit last night, but he went 0 for 1. In conference play so far, 1 for 8 with an RBI. 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch is swung on and missed. Off speed on the outside, and McCoy went for it. It's now 1-2. Prune Packers had the bases loaded in the first inning, but Piscotti left him stranded with a strikeout as he misses outside here. It goes off the end of the glove of Vanderwall, and the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. No score. Bottom of the second inning, nobody out and nobody on. Here's the pitch from Piscotti, and a curveball comes on the inside but misses inside. It's 3-2. McCoy, the right fielder tonight. Piscotti starts his motion, winds, deals, and off speed is swung on, loop to short, and it extends beyond the diving Stewart at shortstop, and it trickles into shallow left field. That's a leadoff single for Jake McCoy. Ended up off the end of the bat of McCoy, and it did just enough to get by Stewart. He made a nice attempt over there at shortstop, dove to his right, but it ended up in left field, and a leadoff single here for the Prune Packers brings up Cade Campbell, the third baseman in the 8-hole for Healdsburg. Righty on righty matchup. Piscotti out of the stretch, deals, and swung on and missed. Fastball at 85 upstairs. It's 0-1. Prune Packers had a runner aboard to start off the first when Jay Souza walked to lead off the game. And here they have a McCoy single. So runner on first to begin the inning again. 0-1 to Campbell. And a slider loops in there for a strike on the inside. It's 0-2. Saw a couple of instances last night of Healdsburg leaving some runners on base. Already doing so in the first with 3 stranded, trying to avoid that here in the second inning as Piscotti throws over to first and McCoy's back in there sliding headfirst safely. No balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch is upstairs, and the throw down to first from Martini. Goes a little wide, but it's caught by, by Vanderwall, caught by Martini. McCoy back in there, standing up. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Shortstop Stewart deepens up. Second baseman Rush still pinched in. The pitch, and off speed, just misses inside. Good take from Campbell. And the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Campbell had a good night last night. A double, a triple, an RBI. 2 for 4. The 2-2 offering is swung on and dribbled softly up the line over at first for a foul ball, and the count remains at 2-2. Campbell does have 6 strikeouts, though, the most of any batter here in conference play to begin the closer to the middle stretch of the season for the Prune Packers. 2-2, swung on barely. Gets a piece of it, does Campbell. Fouled away. Campbell, 313, no home runs, 3 RBIs in the last couple of weeks in conference play. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, a runner on first, and a scoreless game here in the bottom of the second. Here's the pitch. And that one swung on and lifted in the air down the left field line, but it's going to hook well foul and end up out on the street in what is foul territory, out on the road. There's a street that basically goes parallel with left field out here at Rec Park. And we've seen some foul balls go the distance here in the last couple of nights, but no home runs last night, none tonight so far. The 2-2 again is swung on and dribbled foul. Well hit ball up the line. And we'll do it again. Good battle here between Piscotti and Cade Campbell.
Yeah, and you talk about that street out there, the goal for every batter, University Street.
There you go.
That's the money spot out there. You just want to have your ball and name out there on University Street.
And the 2-2. Up and in, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And maybe even if you're a left-handed batter as well, because that fence isn't short over in right field. Going the opposite way, if you can hook one down the line there, you're doing all right.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. Rec Park dimensions are just out of this world.
And the 3-2 misses inside. Oh, what a good eye from Cade Campbell. It was close. A little bit too close for comfort, some umpires might say, but John Pierce says it's a ball. And to me, it looks about a ball inside. And Campbell walks down to first, so that moves McCoy over to second base with nobody out here in the bottom half of the second inning. Hillsburg looking to take the first lead of the game like they did last night. Max Martinez steps in. Here's the pitch. Right-handed batter swings and fouls it off at the plate. It's 0-1. Martinez went 0 for 2 last night, but he walked twice. Bottom of the order for the Prune Packers. This is the part of the order that was really good last night. Here's the 0-1. And it bounces in the dirt. A great stop by Vanderwall. He's going to pick up and throw the ball to third as McCoy advances and slides in safely. So Vanderwall made a nice stop. That ball ended up just in front of the plate, and he crouched down, and the ball scurried just a little bit behind that right-handed batter's box, and McCoy read it going down and sprinted to third right away, and he makes it safely. Campbell advances to second as well, so 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out. The 1-1 misses down and away. It's 2 balls and a strike. Good opportunity here for Max Martinez. He has 1 RBI so far here in conference play. No score at the moment. Nobody out. Runners on second and third. Piscotti out of the stretch, deals, and that one swung on, and it ties up Martinez as he lifts it softly foul down the third base line in the air. Count 2-2. Entire field in the sun here in the 6 o'clock hour. Breezy out there, but not as windy as last night. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strikeout number 3 for Alex Piscotti. And he puts Martinez, the bottom of the order, down by way of the K, and there's 1 away here in the second inning. That brings up the top of the order, Jay Souza. What a big out there for the West Coast Kings.
That's huge, and you talked about it earlier, Nico. Packers left on guys yesterday, and if that trend continues, West Coast Kings have a shot to stay in it, and not only that, but take a lead early on in this game, which would be huge for them.
And with that, we're going to have our first pitching change of the ball game as the Kings trying to get a plethora of guys in here tonight in Game 2. And with that, we'll step aside. Runners in scoring position with 1 away. Healdsburg trying to take the first lead of the game when we come back here at Rec Park. New pitcher here at Rec Park. Landon Marchetti comes in, and the left-handed pitcher deals the first pitch of the outing, and this is down and away for ball one. Jay Souza, the batter from the left side. There is one out here in the bottom of the second inning. Healdsburg and the West Coast Kings scoreless. Runners in scoring position. Here's the pitch. And it catches the bottom of the zone for a called strike. It's 1-1. Campbell on second. McCoy on third. It was a single and a walk to lead off this second inning, and then Max Martinez, the bottom of the order, struck out. Here's the pitch. And it's downstairs, a little bit away as well. It's 2-1. Souza walked in the first inning. Lefty on lefty. 2 balls and a strike. Here's the pitch. And that one's way outside. A slider went a little bit awry. It's 3-1. Marchetti just finished up at UC San Diego. Went to Heritage High School in Brentwood. As he sets out of the stretch, deals, and that one swung on and ripped down the right field line. It ends up in the corner, but it's foul. Oh, that was almost a 2 RBI double at least for Jay Souza, but it hooked a little bit foul.
And just on that foul ball, you can feel the energy of this place. I mean, it is packed tonight. Saturday night, everybody's here to watch some great baseball, and they're ready to see some runs on the board.
Great crowd here tonight at Rec Park. All the seats filled here behind the third base line, home plate, and pretty much the first base line as well. All right, 3-2 the count. Here's the pitch. And it's high, ball 4. So Landon Marchetti comes in and walks the first batter. And that puts the bases loaded for the Healdsburg Prune Packers. Campbell still at second, McCoy at third, and now Souza at first. Second walk of the inning issued by the West Coast Kings, first by the new pitcher Marchetti. Here is Blake Grimmer. First pitch, left-handed batter takes a called strike right at the belt. It's 0-1. Grimmer struck out swinging in the first. One of 3 strikeouts by the starter, Alex Piscotti, for the West Coast Kings. Here is the 0-1. Grimmer fouls it off to the left side. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Healdsburg left the bases loaded in the first inning, trying to avoid that here in the second and give the Prune Packers the first run of the ball game. Count is 0-2. Piscotti collects at the belt and throws. And that one swung on, lined, and it drops for a base hit in shallow left, and it scoots past the left fielder Romney and rolls to the fence. 2 runs in, McCoy and Campbell. Here comes Souza rounding third. The relay throw home gets cut off at short, and bring in 3 runs for Blake Grimmer. The Pack take the first lead of the ball game. It's 3-0 here in the home half of the second. So a line drive that ended up going right by Park Romney, the left fielder, and trickled all the way to the fence. McCoy and Campbell were pretty much already going to score with ease. And then that ball ended up letting Souza score all the way from first. And it's a 3 RBI double for Blake Grimmer, who stands at second. Here's Logan Sutter. The first pitch to him misses outside for ball 1. So Healdsburg makes sure that it doesn't leave the bases loaded here in the second as they did in the first. And they lead 3-0. The 1-0 pitch to Logan Sutter. Curveball misses up and away. It's 2-0 to the right-handed batter. Sutter singled in the first inning. First hit of the game for the Prune Packers. The 2-0 pitch is swung on and lined right back at us for a foul ball. 2 balls, 1 strike to Logan Sutter. Lefty on righty matchup. Here is the 2-1. Off speed, doesn't curl down, and the catcher Vanderwall has to jump out of his squat and catch it. Count moves to 3-1. So Sutter just announced his transfer from Purdue to South Carolina as a senior at Purdue. Batted .367, 22 RBIs, 15 home runs this past season. 3-1 pitch is swung on in the air, down the right field line. It is going to end up in foul territory, well into the crowd down in right field. And the count moves to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Sutter was a second-team All-Big Ten honoree as a first baseman. Also recorded a Big Ten Player of the Week recognition in mid-February after getting 8 hits and 8 RBIs in his first 4 games to begin the season. The payoff is swung on in the air, right field. Wilford moves to his left, he drops it. It goes and hits off his glove as Grimmer moves to third with 1 out, and Sutter ends up at first. Boy, it looked like Wilford was going to squeeze onto that ball with ease as he was moving to his left, but he wasn't sprinting. It was more of an easy jog to make the play, and then all of a sudden the ball hit off his glove and ended up on the grass. So Sutter goes to first, Grimmer to third, and runners on the corners after an error by the right fielder Andrew Wilford. Here is the pitch from Piscotti, and Jacob French takes down and inside in the dirt for ball 1.
As an outfielder, you just have to focus on the catch before you lock in on that runner possibly advancing bases, and I think he just got a step ahead of himself there.
1-0 pitch to French. Is swung on and fouled off to the left side. It's 1-1. Grimmer at third, Sutter at first. French the cleanup hitter for Healdsburg. Second baseman reached first after hitting the glove of the catcher Vanderwall for catcher's interference in the first inning. 1-1 pitch is swung on, grounded up the middle. It's fielded by the pitcher Piscotti, goes to second for 1. The double play chance, out at first. So a very nice play from Piscotti to end the inning. It goes 1-6-3 for the inning-ending double play, but Healdsburg does plate 3 off of a 3 RBI double from Blake Grimmer, and they leave 2 stranded as well. Packers 3 and the West Coast Kings nothing. We move to the 3rd inning here at Rec Park. Healdsburg leads 3-0 over the West Coast Kings here to start the top of the 3rd inning. 3 errors already by the Kings. Packers scored 2 runs off, or rather 3 runs off those errors in that last inning. Alex Salise back out of the bump, delivers, and a first pitch hit by batsman to Andrew Wilford as he turned his inside shoulder, but took it right off the back, and that's how you put the first runner aboard here in the 3rd. So Wilford down to first, after a hit by pitch. That's the second base runner of the night for the West Coast Kings. Peyton Richards reached on a walk in the second. Now Wilford a hit by pitch here in the third to lead us off. Vince Vanderwall steps in. First pitch is rolled over to short. It's fielded by Martinez, but he bobbles it. And that'll be an E6 for Martinez as Wilford goes to second base, Vanderwall to first. Looked like Martinez was going to make the play, and I think he lifted his head up just a little bit too soon before he had possession of the ball. So an error for the Prune Packers, first error of the ball game for them. Now 4 combined errors already. Runners on first and second. Here is the bottom of the order, Jaden Montero, and he takes ball 1 outside. Wilford on second, Vanderwall on first. And Jaden Montero from William Jessup down past Sacramento. Third baseman tonight in the right-handed box. Righty-on-righty matchup. The pitch is upstairs just above the belt. It's 2-0. Solis in his third inning of work. He went 3 up, 3 down in the first 2 frames. The 2-0 on the way. He's upstairs, rather a called strike. Top of the zone, it's 2-1. Kings still looking for their first hit, but they do have 2 men aboard. A hit by pitch and an error. Here's the pitch, and a curveball in there for a called strike on the outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Solis, and he crosses his left leg over to second, throws the French back to him. Top of the order, Joey D'Amelio on deck for the Kings in center field. Montero did not play in last night's game. He's in the right-handed box right now. The pitch is on the way, and it misses inside. And that's 3 balls. So full count, 3-2. Runners on first and second. Nobody out here in the top of the third. Healdsburg up 3-0. Here's the pitch, and it's swung on and dribbled up the third base line. Foul. Solis just finished up his sophomore year at the University of Houston. 2-2 in 6 starts, 19 games that he appeared in for the Cougars. 3-2 is swung on, grounded to short on 2 hops. Martinez fields it on a high bounce, on to second for 1, on to first, a double play. So 2 outs here in the third. Wilford moves to third base on the play. And it's a 6-4-3 double play hit by Montero. And now the top of the order steps in Joey D'Amelio in center field for the West Coast Kings. Big double play right there for Solis and company. Sets out of the stretch. And the pitch misses way outside for ball 1. D'Amelio struck out looking in the first. Solis kicks and deals. And a swing and a high pop-up down the first base line, ends up in foul territory. It's 1-1. D'Amelio playing his ball at Pepperdine. 0 for 2 last night with a strikeout. Also struck out Tuesday in an 0 for 3 outing and a loss to the Solano Mudcats. 1-1 pitch on the way, and that's swung on and missed on a curve that tailed away. A great pitch there. Started in the zone, dropped off, and D'Amelio went for it. So the count's 1-2. D'Amelio looking to avoid his 3rd strikeout of the series. On this 1-2 pitch from Solis, D'Amelio swings and flies it to right center field. It's McCoy, the right fielder, calling off the center fielder Souza. He makes the catch, and that ends the inning. So no runs, no hits, an error, and 1 left on for the West Coast Kings. We move to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Healdsburg with a 3-0 lead here at Rec Park. Dimitri Perry into the ball game for the West Coast Kings. Right-handed pitcher takes over for Landon Marchetti. Perry from Roseville, suburb of Sacramento, delivers the first pitch, and J.C. Asario Agard takes the ball inside for ball 1. Agard lined out to 3rd in the 1st inning. The pitch is swung on and dribbled up the line at 3rd. Fielded by Montero, throws across the diamond, and there's one away. Nice play in the hole by the 3rd baseman Montero. Took a couple of steps to his right and fielded it, and then had to fire it across. And that's how this 3rd inning gets underway. It's a 3-0 Prune Packers lead here in the bottom of the 3rd. Second game of this quick 2-game set here this weekend here in Healdsburg. So Agard has gone to 3rd twice tonight, 1 in the air, 1 on the ground. And that brings up Cade Laidhoff, and the catcher takes a called strike down and away. He struck out swinging in the 1st inning. Righty on righty matchup. And the pitch is swung on and fouled off to the left side. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Dimitri Perry attended Oakmont High School outside of Sacramento, playing his collegiate ball at Westmont. The right-handed pitcher sets, glove at the belt, deals the 0-2, and that one swung on and lined down the left field line, foul. So Laidhoff getting the start tonight behind the dish. Hideki Prather started last night as the pitch is swung on and flown down the left field line, foul again. Laidhoff from the University of Michigan, originally from Bradenton, Florida, south of Tampa. Part of that 2023 high school national championship team at IMG, as that ball is spiked in the dirt in the left-handed box, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nobody out, nope, rather 1 out. Nobody on. Healdsburg 3 and the West Coast Kings nothing. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Perry sets and deals and misses outside. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Laidhoff just finished up his sophomore year at Michigan. 8 starts. Hit 190 with 4 RBIs, couple of home runs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Perry sets. Here's the pitch. And it's on the outside corner, but it's just outside. That was close to being strike 3. Instead, the count moves full. It's 3-2. Second baseman Camden Rush inched up the middle. Shortstop wide open as Stewart's playing towards 3rd. Here's the payoff. And that one swung on, softly hit in the air towards the left side. It goes beyond the infield dirt, and it's caught by the shortstop, Stewart. 2 away here in the 3rd inning. Jake McCoy steps in. Right-handed batter. He singled and scored in that 2nd inning. McCoy playing right field tonight for the Prune Packers. Here's the pitch. And it's outside for ball 1. Catcher Vanderwall trying to bring that thing back into the zone, but doesn't get the help there from the home plate umpire, John Pierce. Pitch on the way is downstairs, but it's swung on and missed by McCoy. And the count moves to 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Off speed again, and McCoy might have gotten the end of the bat of that. Count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. McCoy from Roder Park, just down the road here from Healdsburg. Attends San Jose State, just finished up his junior year. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 away, and the pitch is swung on and missed on the inside. Another off speed from Dimitri Perry. And the relief pitcher goes 1, 2, 3. A ground out, a pop out, and a strikeout as we move to the 4th inning. Healdsburg leads 3-0 over the West Coast Kings here at Rec Park. Top of the 4th inning as Park Romney steps in for the West Coast Kings. It'll be the 2-3-4 hitters for the Kings here in the 4th. Healdsburg up 3-0. Alex Solis back out on the mound, delivers the first pitch, and it's swung on and missed. At a fastball down low as Romney goes around. It's 0-1. It'll be Romney, Camden Rush, and Gio Martini, the heart of the lineup here for the West Coast Kings. The 0-1 on the way from Solis is swung on and softly hit in the air to first. Grimmer makes the catch, barely has to move. And there's 1 away here in the 4th. So Romney's retired. Now Camden Rush, second baseman, steps in from the right side. Grounded out to second in the 1st inning. First pitch from Solis is on the way. And it bounces in the dirt for ball 1 on the outside. 1-0 the count. Nico Horning, Ryan Moffett. Our producer, Hugo Traverso. On the way is downstairs. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Healdsburg 3 and the West Coast Kings nothing. Kings still looking for their first hit. We're in the top of the 4th. Prune Packers have 3 runs on 3 hits and an error, and the Kings have 3 errors. 2-0 pitch is just above the belt for a ball. It's 3-0. Last night's game was 2-2 heading into the Eighth inning. Healdsburg scored 4 in that bottom half and won 6-2. 3-0 on the way, and that's a called strike on the outside. It's 3-1. Might be in store for another low-scoring affair tonight based off the way these games are going here in this quick 2-game series. 3-1 pitch is way outside. That's ball 4. Camden Rush walks here in the 4th with 1 away, and that brings up the cleanup hitter, Gio Martini, the first baseman and the left-handed batter for the Kings. It's part of the order that you don't exactly want to let those free passes go by. Solis sets out of the stretch, righty on lefty. Here is Martini. Rather open stance in the back of the box. First pitch, downstairs, but he swings and misses. It's 0-1. Martini flew out to right field in that second inning. Solis gives a glance over at first, now sets at the belt. Here's the pitch. Misses down and in. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, I'd say both teams handled the wind pretty well last night. About 20 miles an hour. Tonight's about 15. Seems like it's calmed down just a teeny bit. 1-1 pitch. Called strike on the inside to Martini, and the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Despite the more difficult conditions last night, guys made the play. Tonight we already have 4 errors.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, we saw guys dancing all over the outfield last night and still making catches, but
still came up with them with the diving plays.
Yeah.
There's a pitch, and it's rolled over to second base. Fielded by French, but he throws it awry over to second base. Rush moves from first to third on the error by Jacob French. So he fielded it at second, moved a little bit to his left, made the play, but then on the throw to second base, he just completely missed the covering shortstop, Max Martinez, and the ball trickled out in left field. And that allowed Rush to move from first to third. So now runners on the corners as Martini reaches first. Rush on third. 1 away here in the 4th, and the tying run at the plate. Here's Peyton Richards, designated hitter, batting from the left side. The first pitch to him is swung on and fouled off to the left side. It's 0-1. Those are those costly mistakes that can come back to bite you later in the game, especially in these low-scoring games like we saw last night as well. The pitch, swung on and missed. Richards goes around. It's 0-2.
Yeah, we talk about the weather having an impact, but it could just be, a case of the Saturdays. They're looking forward to that weekend. Their mind not fully be in the game, and, it happens.
Final game of this 5-game week for the Prune Packers. The 0-2 is swung on and hit off the left foot of Peyton Richards. Foul ball. Count still 0-2. And we're finally getting to that point where these teams are starting to play more consistent ball at this point in the season. West Coast Kings for 2 games after a 3-game set against the Humboldt Crabs earlier this week. Prune Packers lost their first game of the season a couple of nights ago. Now they have all the guys from those Super Regionals and College World Series. Pretty much a full team at this point. 0-2, swung on, dribbled softly up the first base line, fielded into the glove of Grimmer. He goes back to the bag, taps on it, and there are 2 away. But the run comes in to score as Camden Rush sprints home after reaching on a walk. So the Kings finally have a run. And it's 3-1 Healdsburg here in the top of the 4th with 2 away. So an RBI soft ground out for Peyton Richards. And that brings up Joaquin Stewart, the shortstop in the 6th hole. First pitch to him is outside for ball 1. Gio Martini stands on second after moving from first to second. He reached on that error from Jacob French on the missed throw over to second. The 1-0 pitch. Stewart watches it go down low for ball 2. Alex Solis in his 4th inning of work. Started the game with 2 3 up, 3 down innings. He turns and throws the 2-0, and it's swung on and grounded to second. Takes a weird hop into the hip of Jacob French, but he makes the play, throws to first, and the inning is over. So the Kings get their first run off of 1 error, and they leave a runner stranded as well. It's a 3-1 Hillsburg lead over the West Coast Kings. We move to the bottom half of the 4th inning here at Rec Park. Back here at Rec Park in Healdsburg, and the Prune Packers have a 3-1 advantage over the West Coast Kings. Bottom of the 4th inning. West Coast just got its first run in the top half of the 4th. They still have no hits in this game, and they got it off an error. Anyway, here is a new pitcher, Kai Lorenzo, into the ball game. And he winds and delivers the first pitch. And it's swung on and popped in the air, 3rd base side. It's the 3rd baseman Montero coming in at equidistant with the pitcher's mound. Halfway between the 3rd base bag and home plate, he makes the pop-out play. And 1 pitch, 1 out for the new pitcher, Kai Lorenzo, as Cade Campbell pops out to 3rd. So 1 away here in the 4th. And now it's the bottom of the order, Max Martinez. Here's the first pitch. And the shortstop and right-handed batter takes the ball down low. It's 1-0. Martinez struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. Here's the pitch. And a curve misses away. It's 2-0. Lorenzo played ball at Rockland High School. Past Sacramento, the 2-0. And a curveball this time misses inside. It's now 3-0. Lorenzo deals and finds the inner half of the zone for a strike. It's 3-1. A lot of these Kings pitchers are relatively younger arms compared to what Healdsburg has to offer. 3-1 pitch. And swung on and missed. Count moves full, it's 3-2, but they've been living up to the expectations of these Healdsburg hitters as far as keeping them contained through the first 2 nights. It's really impressed all of us up here and has kept these games pretty low scoring. Here's the payoff. And that one swung on and crushed to left center field. Both left and center converging on it. It's going to take 3 hops up against the wall. Martinez takes the turnaround second. The relay throw to 3rd is late, and Max Martinez slides in for a triple with 1 away here in the 4th.
I mean, that just kept carrying all the way out there. Again, the dimensions of these park just are rough. If you hit it out to center, it's so deep. But he got a great hold of that ball. You can't complain if you're Max Martinez.
D'Amelio and Romney, the center and left fielders, just kept crashing, and that ball just kept going. That was definitely had the distance in most other parts of this ballpark. Ball one outside to the leadoff man, Jace Souza. He has walked twice tonight, scored in that second inning. It's 3-1 Healdsburg, runner on third with one away. And the pitch is swung on, a high pop-up, now extending beyond the infield dirt. It's going to be the shortstop, Stewart, calling off the second baseman, Rush. He makes the play, and it's definitely not deep enough for Martinez to tag up from third. And that's a big out number two for Kai Lorenzo and the West Coast Kings here in the fourth inning.
Yeah, defensively, that's really big, especially for your pitcher, Kai Lorenzo. Now he can settle in and really relax and not have to worry about a big play at the plate.
Souza just got under that, and if he got it just a little bit more, would have been potential sac fly. Here's Blake Grimmer. Left-handed batter takes ball one outside. 2 outs with Max Martinez on third after a one-out triple. Healdsburg 3 and the West Coast Kings 1. Bottom of the fourth, the pitch. A swing and a hard ground ball to first, fielded by Martini. He steps on the bag, and that ends the inning. So no runs, a hit, no errors, and one left on for the Pack here in the home half of the fourth inning. We move to the fifth. It's 3-1 Healdsburg at Rec Park. Back here at Rec Park, Healdsburg, California, Sonoma County. Nico Horning, Ryan Moffett with you. Healdsburg leads 3-1 over the West Coast Kings here in the top of the fifth inning. Alex Solis still out on the mound. Fifth inning, he has pitched through 4, yet to allow a hit. And the first pitch to Andrew Wilford on the way, and it catches the inside part of the zone. It's 0-1. Wilford, Vince Vanderwall, and Jaden Montero due up here in the top of the fifth. The 7, 8, 9 hitters for the West Coast Kings. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it loops away, but it's swung on and missed by Wilford. It's 0-2. Wilford got hit by a pitch to begin the third, and then the on-deck man Vanderwall reached on an error. Here's the pitch, and it swung on and looped to third on the ground, fielded by Campbell, and it's deemed a foul ball. Everyone was playing like it was fair, but the home plate umpire, John Pierce, rules it a foul ball, so we'll do it again. The count's 0-2, nobody out, nobody on. 3-1 Healdsburg, top of the fifth inning. So Wilford and Vanderwall both reached first base in the third, and then Montero grounded into a double play. So we'll see what happens here in the fifth. Kings 1 run on no hits and 3 errors, and the Prune Packers 3 runs on 4 hits, 2 errors. Solis sets out of the stretch. Kicks and deals. Misses outside. It's 1-2. Went for the fastball. Good two-strike pitch there. And if you're going to go fastball, got to leave it somewhere around the zone and not miss down the middle with that. 1-2 offering. And an off-speed, check swung, and back to the pitcher. Solis makes a nice play, plants his feet, throws it a little bit of right of first. It gets by the first baseman, Grimmer, and trickles beyond the imaginary fence down the first base line. So Wilford ends up at second base. He's awarded a free bag. And from what was a nice play to a bit of a errant throw there by Solis. Puts a runner on second base. He had the nice fielding play, and then I think we both saw his feet just kind of stay stagnant, and it resulted in a bad throw.
It looked like the panic of, oh my goodness, the ball's coming right back to me, stayed with him after he made the great play with his glove, and as a result, he threw it a little short of his first baseman.
Went to the left of the first baseman, Grimmer, and that'll put Wilford on second base, and by the time he fielded it, Wilford wasn't that far down the line. He was maybe halfway, maybe a step or two more, but it seemed like Solis at least had an extra second to make that extra step over to first. Here is Vince Vanderwall, left-handed batter, and the right-handed throwing Solis throws and misses. Nope, catches the inside corner for a strike. Cade Ladoff, the catcher, looked like he was moving his glove down a little bit, but home plate umpire John Pierce gives him the call. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and fouled back. It's 0-2. That is the third error of the game for Healdsburg. Both teams have 3. Most of the runs in this game have come off those errors. The pitch to Vanderwall is swung on in the air to second base. Jacob French now moves in halfway between the infield grass and the outfield grass, makes the catch, and there's one gone here in the 5th inning. Wilford stays at second.
Yeah, it's so uncommon to see this Packers team commit so many errors. It's usually so fluid and so clean with their play on defense and in the field, but today is definitely an outlier.
Here is Jaden Montero, the bottom of the order for the West Coast Kings, third baseman, batting from the right side. First pitch to him. Loops in for a strike. It's 0-1. So Wilford at second base. He reached on a throwing error from the pitcher, Solis. One away, top of the 5th inning. Healdsburg with a 3-1 lead. Solis throws. Runner goes from second. The throw down to third is a little late, and the third baseman Campbell can't quite squeeze it as he had to dive back in the direction of where Wilford was coming from. And so Andrew Wilford safe at third, and there's now a runner 90 feet away from making this a 1-run game. No balls and 2 strikes. Here is the pitch. And it's down and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Montero grounded into a double play in the 3rd inning. Solis kicks and deals, and that one swung on and softly hit in the air, but it's caught by the second baseman, French, leaping up and making the grab out in shallow right center, just beyond the infield dirt. And what an out for the second tally here in the 5th inning, and that keeps Wilford over at third. What a play.
They say the game slows down for guys that are just really good, and Jacob French is one of those guys. It looked like he was just going through the motions on what looked like a tough play.
Here's Joey D'Amelio from the right side. The first pitch is swung on and fouled off to the right side, 0-1. If he's even a step late on that, that's a run. But it's still a 3-1 Healdsburg lead. Top of the 5th. 2 outs, 0-1 the count. Solis delivers. Swung on off at the end of the bat, rolls over to first. Grimmer fields it, calls off his pitcher. He'll step on the bag. And the Kings leave one stranded Over at third, it's still a 3-1 Prune Packers lead over the West Coast Kings heading in to the home half of the 5th inning here at Rec Park. Back here at Rec Park, bottom of the 5th inning, as the Prune Packers lead the West Coast Kings 3-1, home half of the 5th. And a couple of former teammates facing each other lead us off. Logan Sutter against the new pitcher Dylan Warren for the West Coast Kings. Into the windup of the pitch is just high for ball 1. Both these players, Warren and Sutter, played together at Folsom Lake College. Warren winds and delivers, and the southpaw leaves a cutter outside. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Sutter singled in the first and then reached on an error in the second. Warren delivers and gets Sutter swinging and missing off speed. Makes it a 2-1 count. So Warren from Oak Ridge High School, El Dorado Hills, 2-1 pitch. And tried to go for the back door, but misses just outside. It's 3-1. El Dorado Hills, about a half hour outside of Sacramento towards Tahoe, and Folsom Lake College right next door. 3-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. A healthy cut from Sutter, and the count moves full. It's 3-2. And then Sutter played his high school ball at Del Oro in Loomis, right nearby. Payoff pitch. And Sutter leaves it outside. That's ball 4, and Warren issues the first walk here in the 5th inning. A runner aboard with nobody out as Sutter has a leadoff walk. So the now South Carolina product Logan Sutter, after transferring from Purdue and a former Folsom Lake College guy, wins that FLC battle. Warren deals, and a swing and a miss. Jacob French misses on an off speed. It's 0-1. That curve from Warren, very lethal. Right where he positions that left-handed arm. He sets at the belt, looks at first, looks home, does it again, and throws. And that time the off speed misses upstairs. He didn't quite have the hook on it as he'd like, and it's 1-1. Warren has dealt with his timeline of injuries in the last couple of years with that arm, but when healthy, he is a solid pitcher. The 1-1 swung on and fouled back to the screen, 1-2. Come at you with that fastball that has some movement towards the inside of left-handed batters, and then he can slow it down with the curve and have that loopy off-speed swing and miss pitch. Sutter cut on and missed a couple of times. Here is French on a 1-2 count, and the pitch from Warren. Swung on and fouled back to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sutter on first after a leadoff walk here in the 5th. Nobody out. Healdsburg 3 and the West Coast Kings 1. Warren collects at the belt. The 1-2 is swung on in the air, straight away center field. It's D'Amelio now taking a couple of steps in, makes the catch, and there is one away as Jacob French is retired for the second time tonight here in the 5th. J.C. Osorio Agard steps in. Designated hitter, batting from the right side. He's 0 for 2. He lined out to third in the first inning and then hit another one over to third in the third inning when he grounded out. But those were against right-handed pitchers. Here is a lefty Warren, and he leaves a pitch away. It's 1-0. 71 on the change. Warren sets. Takes a breath. Kicks and deals. And a swing and a foul back to the screen. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. You a big Metallica guy, Ryan?
I dabble. I'm not the biggest Metallica guy, but I know some people here in the Bay Area that love them.
1-1 from Warren. Swung on and missed as a guard chases a pitch on the outside. It's now 1-2. Well, Warren, one of those big Metallica guys here in the Bay Area, is going to be attending that concert tomorrow night on their off day.
That's good stuff.
Lefty on righty matchup. The 1-2 is just outside. Warren elected to go on the outer half of the plate again, and a good miss on a 2-strike pitch. The count evens up at 2-2. Healdsburg 3, West Coast Kings 1. 1 out. Sutter on first after a leadoff walk. Warren throws and gets Osorio Agard swinging and missing. And the first strikeout of the night for Dylan Warren, the relief pitcher here in the 5th. And Agard walks back to the dugout. There's now 2 away. Warren did not leave that outside corner.
No, he's done a good job early. Just his command is definitely there straight out of the bullpen, which is a good sign for the Kings.
Here's Cade Ladehoff. First pitch. He takes the ball down low. It's 1-0. Ladehoff struck out swing in the first inning, popped out to short in the third. Warren out of the stretch, kicks and deals, and he goes for the outside corner again, and the home plate umpire, John Pierce, has some help because catcher Vanderwall didn't quite squeeze that in. If he held on to it, it would have been a most likely easy strike call, but sometimes those umps won't give you the call if your catcher drops it. 1 ball, 1 strike, and the pitch. And off speed, went out of Warren's hand a little early and goes to the backstop, so Logan Sutter will move up 90 feet. He'll trot down from first to second. And a runner in scoring position for the Prune Packers. 2 balls and a strike with 2 away. Warren trying to keep it a 3-1 Healdsburg lead. The southpaw sets, glove at the belt, and throws. And that one swung on and belted to right field. Wilford, the right fielder, going back. He's at the wall of the track, makes the catch. What a play by Andrew Wilford in deep right field. And he kept going back, and he makes the inning-ending catch at the last second and saves a run. So despite a leadoff walk issued by Warren, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on for the West Coast Kings. We move to the 6th inning, 3-1 Healdsburg here at Rec Park.
All right, back here in Healdsburg, top of the 6th. And it's a new guy on the mound for the Packers, Caleb Debin out of George Fox University. And he has to go against Park Romney, the 2-batter for the West Coast Kings here, first in the top of the 6th. First pitch from Debin results in a big swing and a miss there from Romney. Debin fires, and a little too low there, so count goes 1-1. And with Debin on the mound, that means Alex Solis's day is over. And Nico, I'll give you a minute here after this pitch, but I want to hear from you and see what you liked from Alex Solis today on what was a great start for him, and he finished strong as well. Yeah, and I just want to add to that because we've got a snacker up here. No, hey, we don't blame you. As this one lined over to the first baseman and caught by Grimmer for a great out. And, I mean, how could you not eat some food here at Rec Park? We've got some great food. We've got great vendors that come in all the time, but you're a guy that brings in his own food. Well, Nico, are you too good for Rec Park? Are you too good?
No, I'm just enjoying some nice pretzels that I picked up from Rayleigh's earlier today.
You also save money, so I respect that. You save money, probably.
Hey, the proceeds out here go to a good cause.
No, I think they just go back to the business. It could be funneling into some drug thing.
Anyways, your first question, Solis, a great outing. 5 innings deep. No hits allowed, 1 run, but his defense didn't help him out.
No, a lot of errors, not the cleanest baseball that we've seen defensively from the Packers this season and in a long time, really. You don't see a whole lot of errors from this team. They come in really polished off of the season, but today's a different story. As this one hit right back to Debin, some great reflexes as he flips it over to Grimmer, and that's 2 out now here for Debin in his first inning of work. So now Gio Martini stepping into the left-handed batter's box. Grounded out last inning, but had that RBI, so he helped the only runner score for the Kings today in this 3-1 ball game. Debin's pitch in there. Strike call from the umpire. An odd strike call. You don't see that. It's I don't even know.
They're trying their best out here. They're trying their best.
All right, yeah.
I am some games back home myself.
Really? Behind the dish. Ooh, that's a lot of pressure. As this one grounded to the shortstop, and Martinez fires it, and I mean, you talk about baseball that's not very polished. This is getting out of hand. The Packers, I don't know if it's just mental now. It's in the back of everybody's mind that there's a lot of errors on the day, but they keep stacking up.
That one was a little bit under the glove of Grimmer and trying to make a tough pick out of the dirt, and I thought he had it, and it just trickled out of his first base mitt.
Debin's pitch missing outside. So you were a behind-the-plate umpire.
Still am.
Did you ever get yelled at? Oh, you're
not
still
retired.
Going. Wow.
Did I get yelled at? Yes, actually.
That
Recently.
scares me.
You know, you'd be surprised some of these coaches that get on you at such a young level. I mean, I'm calling majors, Little League majors games, 12,
goodness.
13 years old. And, you know, sure, maybe I miss a ball outside or a strike. And, I mean, these coaches telling you to stay consistent or whatever it is. And, you know, at some point, you just got to focus on your team.
Whoa, do you hit them with that? They start kicking dirt on you.
I mean, to be fair, the one guy telling me, their team was down 10-2. I'm like, all right, I'm not making the difference. I'm not making the difference.
No.
Let's be fair.
You say get your players in line. You just trash at coaching.
But anyways, umpiring, very difficult job.
Definitely. You respect it once you do it once or twice.
Exactly.
Is this a big swing and a miss there? Yeah, I've never done behind the plate. Too scary for me. I've only done base umpiring and at low levels. And even then, I've been heckled for my calls.
Happens. You just got to tell the person heckling you to try it themselves.
I did. It was a professional umpire. So it didn't work out. But it's working out here for Devin as he gets the strikeout and gets out of the inning. Kings still trail 3-1. Packers on top. We'll be back in the bottom of the 6th.
Back here in the bottom of the 6th inning, Healdsburg leads 3-1. First pitch to Jake McCoy, misses upstairs for ball 1. Brady Spencer from Westmont College into the game for the West Coast Kings, and the count is 1-0. Here's the pitch, and a looping curve misses upstairs. It's now 2 balls and no strikes. And here is Ryan Moffett for the play-by-play of this bottom half of the 6th inning.
Thanks for holding it down for me, Nico. I didn't realize. I'm sorry to everyone watching. We didn't notice the camera was pointing right back at us, and we're not as entertaining as baseball. I hate to admit it. But here is Jake McCoy working with the 3-0 count. The pitch to McCoy. He'll let it go by, and this umpire's call, you can't really tell. It wasn't a strike, so I was waiting for it, but the breaking ball misses, and McCoy gets the walk.
Any way to get some offense going if you're Healdsburg. Sutter had that walk to lead off last inning, but they couldn't produce anything after. We'll see what the bottom of the order does here after a very good night and showing from the bottom half last night.
Yeah, definitely, and back to just getting some offense going and getting a little kickstart here. McCoy could be huge over on first. We know he has stealing potential. He's already stole 1 base today, so we'll see if he can do it again and get in scoring position for Cade Campbell here at the plate. Here's the pitch. A breaking ball, and that'll get called for a strike. Count now 1-1 for Campbell. McCoy with a short lead on first. And a swing and a miss there. Count goes 1-2. Campbell tries to hold back. They're going to say he went around, and that's going to do it for Campbell. A strikeout. He gets sent back to the dugout. And now Max Martinez, the 9 batter, coming up. Had that great triple earlier in this game, and I mean, if he can do that again, he can drive a run in.
Left center field, had the distance for a home run in most other parts of this ballpark, but a great triple.
First pitch to Martinez, he's gonna hit this one high. Definitely not as far as that triple. Right behind second base, and that will be caught by Stewart.
Texas Tech, number 6, Chase.
Had the same direction, but not quite far enough.
No, about 150 feet shorter. So now the leadoff man, Jay Souza, coming up to the plate. He's getting ready to work. 2 down, though, and just McCoy over on first. The pitch to Souza. Gonna get the top corner of the zone, it looks like, for strike number 1. And you weren't here, Nico, but Jay Souza's dad, great guy. He brought us chocolate, all of us in the corner. He was a great guy, filling our needs for some sweetness up here.
Now, what kind of chocolate? Like
Some
cookies
good
or
stuff. It was chocolate with macadamia nuts.
Oh, nice.
In the middle. It was real good. Sweet. I needed a glass of milk up here, but none on hand. You a big milk guy? I know people don't like.
I'm not a milk guy, no.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. Cheerios, plain.
So wow, just water. Souza watches that for a ball. See, I don't know. I can't give it up. I've just been drinking it since I was a kid, and I'm never gonna stop.
That's how it starts. I'm a big water guy, though.
Okay, well, all right. Humans live off of that, so no one's gonna hate on you for being a big water guy. There's another ball there to Souza. Do you have any guilty pleasures? Are you outside of your water, your big water fad?
Drinks or food?
Anything, any guilty pleasure. Online gambling? No. And that'll
answer that next
do
inning.
it. Yeah, we'll answer that question next inning as Jay Souza goes down looking. And a good job here by the Kings to hold the Packers again, as it's still 3-1 in this ball game. We'll be back in the top of All right, already screwing up top of the 7th here in Healdsburg, California. And it's Joaquin Stewart in the box. And he's going against a new hand here for the Packers. It's Brandon Mann out of Michigan. He's been busy early on today, despite not actually being in the game. He was getting used by the social media team, using him left and right for some videos. So
Team player.
yeah, he's all for it. He's a great guy, willing to do some crazy stuff for the social media. And he's already ahead 0-2 here against Stewart. Here's the pitch. Miss outside. I mean, he's throwing this thing hard, though. On the
So
top.
what did he do for the social media?
He was doing I don't know if I can
Or
spoil
you just
it,
have
but
people go look at it.
no, it's not posted yet.
Oh,
He was filming some stuff for when they're away. When they're on their road trip,
I see.
they were getting ready to post, but
That, folks, is called planning ahead.
exactly. See? There's a lot that goes into this well-oiled Packer machine. Things don't just happen. You got to make them happen. But it was this segment where people were guessing the drawing of which player was the sketch.
Okay.
So he was.
Now, who was making the sketch? That's the question.
One of these great interns. We're not sure who.
Okay.
It's
All right.
remaining a mystery, but it's probably someone on game day ops. They seem creative. Us up here, not so much. But yeah, he was doing that for us. And that'll get posted soon. Go check out Prune Packers on Instagram. How's that promo?
There's the tease.
Yeah.
That's what I've been looking for.
Shameless plug.
Got to sell it.
Yeah. And there's a fast pitch there from Mann. And that'll send him back to the dugout. There's the first out of the inning here in the 7th.
Top man of UC San Diego, number 17, Jaden Lee.
And we know Mann can really punch it in there. It was him and Logan Addison. Those are the top 2 guys in velocity off of the mound this year. Addison, of course, reaching the almost 95, right over 95, and Brendan Mann right at 94 so far. So that pitch down low. That fouled off over towards the Kings dugout. Another thing Brandon was doing with the social media team, we were looking at his baby picture. And holy cow, Nico, he might be one of the cutest babies I've ever seen.
There you go.
Squishy guy. Is this hit out shallow right field, laying out for it, and pops out of the glove of McCoy. Tough break there, but a great effort from McCoy, and thankfully it stayed in front of him.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you can have a little bit more free time with no one on, one away, and really make an all-out dive. But if there's a couple of runners on, you want to prevent that thing from going behind you and possibly letting up a little bit so you don't let a run score. That time, great effort, just couldn't come up with it.
So now Mann going against Vince Vanderwall, excuse me.
I can tell you one thing, Ryan. Last night by this time, we were a little chilly.
Yes, I'm very thankful that the sun's still kind of on us, keeping us warm, and the wind not as aggressive, because I was, my teeth were chattering, my hands were freezing, some of my toes fell off.
A little chilly last night.
Definitely.
I just looked today. Apparently, they got some snowflakes up on Donner Summit near Tahoe.
Oh boy, hopefully no
Late
one's
June?
trying to cross the summit. Might get stuck up there.
Well, not that sticky, but still for, June 21st?
Well, that would be bad if the snow was sticky. Yikes.
Pulling my skis right now.
You big skier?
I am a big skier.
Oh boy. See, I've never done it. Never done skiing, snowboarding. I'm a novice for the
Missing out.
snow sport world. Am I?
Oh, for sure. Now, you might think, you're freezing, blah, blah, blah. Once you get going, your blood's running, you end up sweating in your snow gear, to be honest, and it's a fun time.
Well,
I mean, you're outdoors for 6, 7, 8 hours, and
too much
views.
sunlight. That's way too long outdoors for me. There's got to be a video game I can play to get the same satisfaction.
MLB The Show.
Yeah. Well, straight to the black diamonds for me once we're done with this game then. For all that snow out there. So 1 on, 1 out. Here's man. Runner going. This hit over towards the shortstop in not Maddox Maloney. That's Max Martinez. He reaches out, and it was out of his reach. So that'll be a base hit there for Vanderwall. Now Jaden Montero coming up to the plate. Not sure how I took a time machine mid-call there. Maddox Maloney, that's a name from last year. He was over at shortstop. Now I believe he's in the Cape Cod League.
Another Premier League.
Definitely, they just got started. Here's man. Pitch outside. Ball number 1. Interesting lead over at first, and that pitch gonna be too low for a strike. Count goes 2-1. You don't see a leadoff stance like that very often from Vanderwall. I mean, if there's no one near him, I guess that's okay, but pretty unorthodox. And a bat flying out of the hands of Montero. That's how you know he was swinging hard.
Might be a little bit too loose in the hands there. Well, the thing with the lead over at first, right? You have Lyle looking over at second, and you're watching to see if there's any sort of movement from Wilford over at second to move to third, and if he goes at all or if he breaks, you're on it to second base. So that's sort of the look over there. You're also helping out your runner Wilford over there. If they crash from second, you're the first to alert them.
Man delivers, and there it is. A nasty pitch down low to get Montero chasing, and that's a nice strikeout.
Number 13 from Los Medanos, Daniel Polisak.
So now Daniel Polisak coming in. We saw him last night, and he's getting subbed in here today for Joey D'Amelio. Here's man. Outside pitch, ball 1. Man's second pitch, punched it in for a strike. Count even at 1-1 here for D'Amelio. Brandon Mann delivers after checking on the runner, and it's down low. So 2 on, 2 down here for the Kings. Man, trying to find the zone here. He's falling behind. 3 balls, 1 strike. There's the strike he's looking for. And now it's full count here for Joey D'Amelio. Big momentum play for either team. So whoever wins the battle can inch closer to winning the war. Runners go, and this hit out into right field. Runners coming home. 1 scores, and now A runner on third as well. Corner situation. And just like that, the Kings are within one score.
A well-produced hit and run there as both runners went on the movement from the pitcher, Brandon Mann, and it worked. One-run ball game.
This game a lot closer than maybe some people expected, but I mean, this whole weekend, the Kings have been competitive. Last night's game did get away from them, but and a big swing and a miss there. Ball bounces right back off that backstop, and you talked about it. If this backstop were deeper, a lot more runs would probably score.
No doubt.
So now Coach Gomes heading out to the mound to talk to Brandon Mann. What are you telling Mann here in this situation after he had just given up a run?
Well, the score is one thing, but also you're just trying to calm your pitcher down. He's been left and right. He's missing pitches. Look, you got to calm him down. You got to change the pace. That's why you're out there as head coach Gomes. And you're not saying too much, just kind of resetting him and allowing him to breathe for a minute and trying to fight. I mean, there's still 2 outs in the inning, so you're not trying to go into logistics or anything like that. You just need to focus on the batter at hand, not worry about the runners, and go from there. But you were talking about West Coast keeping these games alive. They have been really impressive the last 2 games. I think Hillsburg has kind of come in here and maybe taken them a little bit lightly, and look at the scores.
Yeah, a little wake-up punch to the face maybe.
2-2 last night. Yeah, and 2-2 last night heading into the 8th inning. Hillsburg scored 4. 3-2 ball game right now. West Coast the plate, 1-run ball game.
Yeah, they've managed to hang on to in these games, and right now they have a chance to tie it up. We'll see. Here's Mann's pitch. Fouled, popped over towards the visiting stands, and maybe by the worst. So 0-2 count. Again, still 2 down. Mann looking to get out of the inning. And he spikes that one. Runner coming home. He's diving in for the score. All tied up here in Healdsburg. Tough break there for Brandon Mann. A bad pitch. Gets away from Cade Ladoff, and as a result, runner comes in for the score. Here's Mann. Man, he's getting him to chase out there, and it finally comes, that 3rd out that the Packers were looking for so long. But not until the Kings put up 2 here in the top of the 7th to tie it up. Knotted up at 3, and the Packers look to respond in the bottom of the 7th. We'll be back in just a few moments after we sing along with all these fans. All right, we are back. Ryan Moffett and Nico Horning here in Healdsburg. Sun starting to get right above those trees in the blinding hour. And the Packers looking to respond here after 2 runs from the Kings in the top of the 7th. Here's the pitch. Down low. First batter in this inning, Blake Grimmer. He grounded out last at bat. And Grimmer had some family in the area. They stopped by my mom's work, Bosworth and Son. They were looking for some Western gear.
There you go.
They're getting used to the area, getting a feel for Sonoma County. It's good to know.
So you got a Western store.
Yeah, no, well, my mom just works there. But yes,
Oh, okay.
it is a Western store.
Nice, nice.
Sadly, I won't be inheriting a Western store. Seems like it would be a lot. So 2-1 count here for Blake Grimmer. You big into Western wear, Nico?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
You?
Well, not really. I mean, I have blue jeans
You got
on.
a pair of boots?
I have blue jeans on today, if that counts.
That counts?
Yeah. And yes, I have some boots. I've got some armadillo boots.
There we go.
So yeah, flashy boots. Nothing really for working in. So a free base for Grimmer, and now Logan Sutter's coming up to the plate. And first pitch to him inside. Couldn't get enough break on that pitch right there.
Had enough break to avoid him.
Well, yeah.
Had some movement, just didn't quite find the strike zone.
Blows one by him, and they're checking on the check swing. They're saying he didn't go. 2-0 now. Sutter watches it go by for strike number 1. So 1 on Grimmer over at first, and it seems as if every time the Packers get 1 on, they just struggle right after that. So this pitch right here, down low. Count 3-1. Hitters count for Sutter. Pitch to Sutter. And that'll be a strike. And as the ball gets away from the catcher, Durwall, it'll be a stolen, or a free bag, free pass for Blake Grimmer. So full count now for Logan Sutter. Sutter fouls that one off. First baseman tracking it and runs into a child. And that's out of play, but no one really gave him the warning.
Yeah, that's a really tough occurrence over there, because if you're the first baseman, you have no idea you're in that much of foul territory, and you got to keep making the play, because if you pull up too early and it's in fair territory, or in foul territory but still playable, then you're getting yelled at.
Exactly. Lose-lose situation. Or his teammate could have helped him out verbally. This one fouled off again, and it'll just be watched by Martini. He's
that time
done.
he gives no chase.
He's done chasing, as 1,000 children chase it.
It's a stampede.
Yes, I can feel the rumble from here. Have you ever been stampeded?
No.
That's
no.
good. That's why you're here. So Sutter's still battling. And he'll ground this one. It'll go to the third baseman. He fires over to first. Off target, though. Martini had to come off his bag, and it still got past him. So Grimmer now over on third, and Sutter safe on first.
Now batting BC Berkeley, number 15, Jacob French.
So Jacob French Gonna come up to the plate, but not before a meeting with the pitcher here, and looks like his day's done. They're gonna pull in a new arm. We're waiting to see if someone's gonna head out of the bullpen or if it's gonna be someone from the field. And maybe just the catcher. He's gonna pitch in full gear. I'm not sure. They're all huddled around. We're waiting to see. We'll be back when we find out. All right, we're back, and it's still a mystery man out there on the mound. We know it's number 32, but I mean, I think a fool could figure that part out. We're right in there with the fools, so we're just gonna call it as it is, because he still has to go against Jacob French, who's been lethal for these Packers lately, but today not so much. He's been struggling here against the Kings today. So first pitch to him, a strike. We'll see what happens on the 0-1. But there's a throw back to first. Keeping these runners on their toes. And it looks like it's a pinch runner in for Logan Sutter. Appears to be Alex Leopard, who's known to be a speedster out there on the bags. Here's the pitch, and French reaching out for that one, gets a piece of it foul. But yeah, it could be a big deal having Alex Leopard out there on first. Could easily get over to second base, and then you have two runners in scoring position, which would help out. Packers have struggled so much with leaving runners on. I mean, both teams today. And this catches just a piece of fabric on the elbow guard of Jacob French, and he's going to get a free trip over to first base. So now J.C. Agard up to the plate ready to face this new pitcher for the Kings. First pitch to a guard. He's going to swing at it, and it's popped up in the infield, tracking it, and for the out is Rush over at second. So finally, one down now for the Kings in this top of the seventh, or excuse me, bottom of the seventh. So now Cade laid off, coming up to the plate, and he's looking to do some work here for the Pack, and his base is loaded. Big situation for him. We'll have to see. First pitch, a ball. Pitch delayed off. He hits that and pops it up, and it'll go out of play. We talked about it earlier. Not a whole lot of hits. A lot of getting on through errors, walks. Not the
slow
clean,
game.
Yeah,
slow game as far as those categories are concerned. Yeah, a lot of errors. 7 combined errors. I mean, that's saying something.
Little league game. And that pitch right there misses. Looks like maybe low and inside. So 2-1 count here for leadoff. The lefty fires inside, nearly catching the thigh of leadoff. And that'll do it. The fourth ball in the count to leadoff, and I guess it's that easy. Walking a runner home, Grimmer walks in for the score, and now the Packers have the lead. Not ideal for the Kings. So Jake McCoy ready to do some work here for the Pack. He's got bases loaded too, and he lines it right to the third baseman, Montero.
Up at UC Berkeley, number 2, Cade Campbell.
Tough break. I mean, one of the better bats or barrels on bat. Holy cannoli!
Can't do anything about
No,
that. I mean, that's a hard hit ball right to someone's game of baseball.
Tough break for McCoy. Not a lot of Packers have had their way today. But, I mean, if they can keep getting walks, then it's easy to score with bases loaded. It's pitched down low in the dirt, and the wind picks up. Carries some of that dust away. One and 0 for Cade Campbell. Second Cade we've seen this inning. The pitch. Campbell watches it go by for a strike.
Doing the same thing as you, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm suffering out here. My eyeball is just has a nice glossy layer of dirt. This popped up. Another one in the infield, and it will be caught over there by Rush. So not the most effective inning of work for the Packers offensively, but they still add on to their total through a walk And now it is 4-3. Packers regain that lead, and we'll be back in the top of the 8th. All right, top of the 8th here in Healdsburg, and new arm on the mound. It's Luke Schatt out of Ukiah, California, just 30 minutes north here of Healdsburg, and his pitch right there smacked out into left field. Good start for the Kings if they want to respond here in the top of the 8th.
Well, it's getting to that point where it's now or never. You got 2 innings to play with. They were down by 4 in the 9th. It was tied 2-2 last night in the 8th inning. Tonight they're down by 1 in the 8th. So, got to start doing what they're doing, string some hits together.
Here's the pitch from Schatt inside. Excuse me, Schott. Another miss there from Schott. Stuck in that inside part. So 1 on, no out here for the Packers. The pitch swung on and popped up, chasing it. Third baseman and left fielder, but it's going to land over by the bullpen. Guys playing hacky sack. You got any cool hobbies like hacky sack? No? That's okay.
Collecting baseball cards.
All right. You got any?
I mean, hobby. If we're going hobbies, skiing and golf. There you go.
Oh, yeah. You got any valuable? You got a rookie card of someone?
I have first Bowman Fernando Tatis Jr.
Wow.
You heard that guy?
Yeah, I've heard of him a couple times. Cool guy. As this one flipped over to second, Martinez tries to finish the double play, but good hustle there from the batter to beat out the throw. Well, maybe you'll have to start collecting some of these Packer guys once they make it to the league.
There you go.
Be worth $1 million. Pitch from Schott. Finds the zone. Strike number 1 there. That Swung on and fouled. Count goes 0-2. Luke Schott checking on the runner at first, and now he looks ready to serve it up here. And it's hit out into right field, giving chase is McCoy, and it just drops in between the three. Saviteri, McCoy, and Jay Souza all out there, but no one actually comes up with it. Definitely a tough play defensively, but not a whole lot of communication with all three guys in the same area. So 1 down and 2 on. Shot, fires, and a swing and a miss there. Shot gonna miss slightly outside here. Breaking ball, and that's gonna miss. Trying to find the zone of this umpire in his first inning of work. And that's a 4th ball there. Just cannot locate here against Stewart, and that's gonna walk the bases loaded.
Number 17, Jade Lee.
So bases loaded and only 1 out for the Packers, but Shot making it up. He's getting a first strike there. And that'll be fouled off. Out of play. Shot ahead here, 0-2. Be huge if he could get a strikeout right here. The pitch. Good try by Cade Ladoff to frame it and show the location for the umpire, but not budging. The 1-2 swung on, hit over to Saviteri. He's going to try to turn 2, but Martinez holds it over at second, so now only 2 down, but Nico, we're all knotted up again at 4.
Again, got to give credit to this West Coast team. Late life and station to station for these runners. And that's all you got to do right there. Little force at second.
So the Kings holding their own, still here late in the game. Pitch from Shot. High. Corner situation, Shot looking for the 3rd out. Swung on and popped up out of play. 1-1 count now. Runner going, and Ladoff will just hold on to the ball as the runner on 3rd, clearly waiting to act on whatever Ladoff did. Shot's pitch, hit over to Martinez. He backhands it, fires to first, and that'll do it. Packers get that 3rd out, but Not before the Kings come right back into this ball game and tie it up at 4. So we'll be back in the bottom of the 8th in just a few moments. That's good. If someone hits a walk. All right, we're back here in the bottom of the 8th. The tension growing as it's a tied up ball game, and it's Max Martinez here, a hard hit out into left and lines it out there to Romney for the out. So 1 up, 1 down. And now Jay Souza coming up to the box. First pitch to Souza, down low. And it's still that lefty on the mound for the Kings. Held the Packers to just 1 last inning, and they scored on that walk with the bases loaded. So 2-0 here for Jay Souza. Two 2-0 pitch in the zone. Souza sees his first strike. Pitch outside there. Count now. Hitters count for Jay Souza. Pitch to Souza. Fouled off. One down for the Kings. Coming up next is Blake Grimmer. This chopped by Souza. Pitcher's gonna grab it, throw it over to first for the out. And just like that, 2 down for the Packers. And Blake Grimmer, Tennessee volunteer, coming up to the plate. Blake Grimmer up, better known as the Grim Reaper to one of his fans. I don't know if anybody else calls him that. Maybe Grimace. Did you hop on that viral Grimace trend,
No.
Nico? Oh,
No.
okay.
No.
quick
Not
no.
a big trends guy.
Big McDonald's guy, maybe?
No.
All right, well, double no.
Well, In-N-Out Burger though. Now we're talking.
All right, see, yeah, California guy, that makes sense, yeah. And it's definitely much better. Not to get in trouble with McDonald's because we would love a sponsorship, but In-N-Out might have the upper hand.
Yes.
As this hit hard out into right field, backing up for it and caught right at the fence. A good effort there from Wilford out in right field. Grimmer just not quite enough to get out of the park. And this game still tied, all at 4. We'll be back in the top of the 9th when Nico Horning will take over on what could be a pretty intense inning.
Welcome to the 9th inning here at Rec Park. It's a 4-4 ball game between the Healdsburg Prune Packers and the West Coast Kings. Nico Horning and Ryan Moffett, top of the 9th. Blake Crawford deals the first pitch, and Jaden Montero shows bunt but pulls it back for ball 1. Crawford on to pitch for Healdsburg here in the top of the 9th inning. Montero, the 9-hole hitter for the West Coast Kings. Lefty on righty matchup here. And the first pitch, rather second pitch of the at-bat, is in there for a called strike. Bottom of the zone, it's 1-1. 4-4 our score. The Kings tied it up in the last inning. Crawford throws. And a swing and a late foul ball down the right field line. It's 1-2. Montero is 0 for 3. He grounded into a double play, and he also popped out and has struck out tonight. Sun has set here in Healdsburg, and the lights are on. It's a 1-2 pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. So, first batter, and Crawford retires Montero for the first down here in the top of the 9th inning, and the lineup flips over. That brings up Daniel Polasek